President Biden looks to go beyond the so-called wealth tax to take money from high earners. Proposals from current advisors include revaluing assets to gain more in estate taxes. You've also got plans to create a minimum tax for large companies. Mark, your thoughts on this, and I want to get your thoughts, Rob, as well. But first, Mark, weigh in on this tax bite that is to come.
Well, it is a Democrat wish list for taxation. Everything from the estate tax returning to levels we haven't seen for years, capital gains rate increases on the wealthiest Americans. The wealthiest Americans, fortunately or unfortunately, own most of the stocks, and they're pretty savvy people. So if we keep talking about raising capital gains rates on the wealthiest people, my phone's already ringing with people saying, how can we time an exit? What should we do with the portfolio? I think discussions around tax hikes when we're still vaccinating people is premature. That was my point earlier. And I think, though, that when push comes to shove, there will be just a few moderate Democrats in the fold, and they will slow down aggressive tax hikes. Unfortunately, if you want infrastructure, it has to be paid for. So we may see more of an impasse this year out of Washington, but with the economy as strong as it is, I'm not sure we need infrastructure. We don't need more money out of D.C. to let this economy continue to grow. Unemployment's going in the right direction. Consumers are spending. Businesses are opening up. Maybe Washington doesn't need to be the main event and the lead story every day to help the economy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they don't. That's true. And I disagree about taxing the rich. I think these taxes are going to go higher for many, many more people than just the 1% highest earners. Rob, we already heard the administration and its mea culpa admit the fact that it's $400,000 for families that are the initial group to tax. That means anybody making $200,000. $200,000 is a very nice salary, obviously, but putting it in the rich category with these billionaires is just not right. So it's more than the rich. That's what we're going to see. We are already hearing more evidence of that. Does that impact economic growth as we are seeing finally expectations for growth in 2021?
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, out here in California, places like New York, $200,000 barely get you by, Maria. So I think this is an undercover tax on just about everybody. And, you know, the issue I really have with this capital gains tax and taxing that in ordinary income is I work with a lot of small business owners, a lot of entrepreneurs. So let's remember, a lot of these people, as they get towards retirement, look to sell all or part of their business. This is the money that they've borrowed on credit cards, blood, sweat, and tears, sweat equity that they put into these businesses. And when they want to take a little bit of that off the table to help supplement their retirement, it's not just their tech stocks that they invested in that's getting taxed, but it's their personal businesses also. So these are real Americans that are being taxed, are going to feel this. And look, the market's had a great run over the last couple of years. A lot of that's been priced into the market. You know, COVID and the 10-year Treasury are obvious issues. But once you start talking about these tax increases and the realization to, like what you mentioned, this can be retroactive to this year, I think there's going to be a lot of pressure on the market, and that's not something the market's really prepared for.